Okay, and we're back. I'm going to give it a few minutes to see if anyone pops on. If I don't immediately respond to questions, it's because I can't see the screen from here, and I'm going to try to get my other iPad up and running so I can see what's going on. Okay, I can't tell if anyone's joined because the phone's too far away because this is the only way I can record. But I'm trying to get it up on my other program, so maybe my watch will show me what's going on. No, it won't. Anyways, we're back here. It's been a little bit. I got all the glassware set up. Now we're going to go into cleaning, and we're going to be talking about how to prep your glassware for laser engraving. So I'm going to see if I can get my YouTube up on my other one. That way I can see who's all on, what questions you have. So please, if you get a chance, jump on in, stay tuned, bear with me for a few. I'm trying to get through some technical difficulties, but we're going to go ahead and do our second live stream, which is going to be preparing this 256, actually, 5.5 ounce taster glasses for a 300 order. The other 50 are actually the big size, so we'll go over that. We aren't going to go over that because that's just the same process, but this is the big one. And if you're out there, please put a comment in or something so I can see it pop up. That way I'll know that you guys are on. Like I said, the camera's a good 10 feet away from me, and unfortunately I don't have x-ray or binocular vision, so I can't see exactly what's coming up and how many people are on or subscribed, all that stuff, or whatever. Alright, looks like we got a few people there, so I'm going to go ahead and go over this. So I am working on my largest order as a small business out of its garage, Fox and Kit WoodWorks. I started about 2 years ago seriously into this, 3-4 years ago kind of as a fun hobby, from laser engraving to woodworking, and this is my largest order so far. 300 glasses to a local end of watch that I used to be a part of, and I'm glad to be working with them again, and more importantly just working with them. And this has really turned into a business that has been a lot of fun for me as both a hobby, therapy, but also like a small business that I could really take off and do, local sales, maybe even larger on internet, and make some extra money for the income. Currently, I am a stay-at-home dad. You always hear me in my videos go as Fox, and I have my kits. And today, this is a video just to kind of show you guys some tips and tricks when it comes to doing woodworking, more importantly at today's laser engraving and how to prep your glassware. So, as you can see from my first video, I had 250 or plus glasses I had to get out of the boxes, arranged and organized so that way I could actually get them cleaned. And now we're going to start going over the steps on how to clean your glassware. Now there's plenty of videos out there. I figure I'll do it live with you guys, help me kill some time, talk to you guys, answer some of your questions, things like that. But this is where we're at right now. So I got my iPad up and running. I can actually see how many people are going to be on it, any questions that pop up. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to it here once this loads up. Okay, so I see you guys are on there. I got 4 following right now and watching, so let's go ahead and get into it. So glassware, when you are getting ready to do any type of laser engraving, you need to clean your glassware. Now, there's lots of different options on there. You can run it through your dishwasher, right? Some people just pull it out, wipe it off with a towel, and get going. My favorite way of doing this so far is actually by using rubbing alcohol. So what I use is 99 or 98% isopropyl alcohol. I put it in one of these spray bottles. That way I can either spritz everything down as I go, or I can spray it into a rag. And what you're going to want to really make sure to do is get the outside and the inside, especially for your engraving area. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and kill this audio behind me. Okay, now that we got that taken care of, I should be able to not have all my background noise. But yeah, so you're wanting to really get them cleaned up, because when you put your next step on here, sorry, the next step is going to be painting them. You want the paint to adhere to the glass, and you don't want stuff in the way of it where it's going to, cause issues for your engraving. That paint flakes off during the process, you're going to get a bad engraving. You don't want things to get in the way. Hey, thanks, Suzuka. Okay, bro. How you doing today? Don't know if you're with us or not, but we're going to keep going anyways. So, anyways, best way of doing it, get that rubbing alcohol on it, give the glass a nice wipe down on the inside, get it in there, wipe the inside and outside off nicely, and then just move on to the next one. And however you do it on your project or your shop, find a process that sets everything out, gets it all organized. This has worked well for me now. When I go to the painting of it, I will separate them out and spread them out a little bit, because you don't want to rub off the paint that you're putting on. And that's kind of the biggest thing. Hey, got a couple more watchers. How y'all doing today? Please go ahead and throw a comment in the channel if you'd like. If you have questions, we'll be answering questions about laser engraving and woodworking, life, whatever you want to talk about. Just give me a minute to try to look at the screens here, because I'm trying to multitask. But yeah, honestly, besides having nice clean glassware for your laser engraver so that it etches correctly, maybe someone in the channel can actually tell us maybe some reasons why they think that's the best. My theory is everyone talks about getting any grease off of it, and I think that's for the paint adhesion. I don't think that grease or anything is going to cause issues when you're engraving, but obviously if there were some specks of cardboard or whatever, it might cause some burning or charring that might throw off your engraving. What laser am I using? Hey, thanks, Jack in the shop. How you doing? I am actually using an X-Tool S1. That was a gift for my 40th birthday, kind of when we were starting this adventure into this garage shop. And I'm using the 40-watt module on it. I will give you a quick little tidbit into it. I don't use any of the marking sprays that you buy. I have dabbled in them now. But currently, my favorite thing to use is either chalk paint out of a pen. It's the easiest to apply, and it works very well. But always do some test engravings. I found out that tempera paint watered down to be out of an airbrush works almost as well, if just not as well, as the marking sprays out there. How about you guys? What laser engravers are you guys using? We got any other X-Tool people out there? We got We Create, or maybe, oh God, what are some of the other ones? There's some, the Storm and whatever else, those bigger ones. I'm not that lucky yet. Maybe one day I will be. And like I said, I'm here just helping kill some time, do a little video for you guys. I was supposed to put out a tips and tricks this week. I haven't got it to it yet. I'm going to do it a little later. I'll go 22-watt diode, 60-watt CO2, big red from China. Wow. You got me beat. What kind of stuff are you putting out there? That's awesome. In fact, I'd actually like to throw something out to you, Jack in the shop. For you, what do you prefer to do all your glassware engraving on? The CO2 or the diode with some paint? Awesome. Do you have any issues with chip out when you're using the CO2, or is it pretty clean every time? Also, if you're new to the channel, please hit that like, subscribe, notification button. We're trying to get to 500. We're almost to 250. That was my first challenge. We're about 36 subscribers away, so we'll be there soon. I've also looked at some of the UV stuff, and I'm really contemplating maybe a UV engraver, if anybody has info on that. You know, I agree with you. I have found the same thing. The cheaper the glass, the better the engrave. All of my stuff I've been buying lately has actually been from Webstront, because you can get the best deals that way. So if you're doing lots of glassware, good place to go. If you're doing like primarily glassware, they got a good program where you get the shipping for free. You can save some money that way, but you're going to pay a monthly fee. But yeah, I've heard 99-cent store glass is probably one of the best. Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for X-Tool, and I know I probably sound like an X-Tool fanboy on it, but just for the ease of use and what I'm familiar with, to come out with their UV module one. I did see their new P3, and the fact that you can stack some rotaries in it, that would speed up the process. But regardless, right now I'm just happy with my S1 and trying to make do with it. Yeah, I get that with the non-X-Tool fan. There are some things they don't do great, and they've jacked some prices up, but for us newbies kind of getting into it, I felt like it was the easiest, simplest way of doing it. Do you use Lightburn? How do you like Lightburn when it comes to like ease of use? I know you can do a lot more things with Lightburn. I've got enough things I'm trying to learn or work on between taking care of 2 kids, 3 dogs, a bunch of chickens and ducks, and doing this. Surprised you guys haven't mentioned or made any comments about my skills with cleaning glassware. Yeah, I know I'm a pretty boring channel right now, but like I said, I'm trying to take you guys along this process. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't really used much at Inkscape. I've kind of looked into it. I've heard with Lightburn you can do some kind of cool things with like changing the frequency of the laser, and also like the different traverse patterns. Instead of just engraving one way, you can kind of do angles. Is that true? Oh, that's awesome. So you got the whole thing going. You got all the stuff I would like to dabble in between CNC and 3D printing. Unfortunately, this little garage, I ain't got much room. As you can see, there's stuff stacked behind me and other things, you know, with life going on in here. So wow. You are putting a lot of products out. I'm going to have to go check out your page. In fact, I'm going to see if you got a channel up here on this and see what I can do. I'm going to definitely have to come back and check you out. I like that. What do you prefer working on the most? The laser engravers, CNC, or 3D printer? As I said, for everyone that's new to the channel, I've been seeing people pop in and out. We are working on a big order that I got, 300. Might not be big for Jack, but for me it's huge. And I'm just here to answer questions, talk, kind of let you guys get to know me. Hey everyone. Saw a couple more people pop in. Welcome to the channel. Feel free to ask questions, send them in the chat. Please keep them PG because otherwise I have to try to read it from my phone with, you know, binocular vision, which I don't get to. Lasers and CNC plasma. Oh wow. So I do have, Jack, I actually have a video I'm working on editing right now on slate. I have actually found a love of slate now and the different tones and things you can get from it. I'm going to be releasing that. It's just for a diode, but that MOPA or the fiber laser, yeah, seeing some of the work you that I did, I'll show you guys. I did a 4 slate. Yep, my audio back. I'm sorry. I got a phone call coming in. My bad. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm new to the live. This is my 3rd live. I appreciate that. I was saying that the diodes, I just started doing a bunch of slate work on and figuring out with doing the lacquer on them and being able to get all the different tones. Looks really good. In fact, somewhere around here I got a couple slate charcuterie boards that I ended up engraving that turned out really cool. It's just finding them, because between projects, this is what happens. So with your fiber, you do any 3D relief engraving on the slate? And for you new guys that just popped on, we are going over an order I'm doing, and I'm here to answer questions. I think Jack will answer more questions than I can. He's got a lot more experience. But if you do get a chance, hit that like, subscribe, and notification button, please. Here, I'll give you guys a quick peek. I'll come around the front. This is what I got it to turn out like. That's awesome with the not having to change it for the different color cups. That is one of the biggest issues that I have, is that you got to adjust everything for anything you do. And I just found those. So here is the one that I did on slate. Yeah, the logos are huge. I've been doing coasters for a bunch of different organizations, companies, and I've been hooked up with the VFW and Marine Corps League. I just did, I think it was a combo of 300 coasters between the three of them for different events. Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, I would say, what if Jack, if you were to give a suggestion, what would you say for a small shop like mine that's been kind of doing a lot more glassware, but other things, would you say would be the best laser to go to next, a fiber or a CO2? I want to do more cutting and speed up my glassware, so I'm guessing CO2. Oh wow, 400 sets of coasters. That's awesome. Where are you based out of? You based out of California? What state? UV or CO2 for glass? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, because right now, if this goes really well, there's potential to pick up like another 5 to 6 customers that are going to be ordering kind of things like this year round. And I want to be able to do it faster and more efficiently. Dallas, North Carolina. All right, North Carolina. I like it. Yeah, I'm out here in Sacramento, California. I've been in North Carolina a long time ago. I was out in Raleigh. Yeah, that is part of it. The CO2 is definitely would be cheaper. Do you, with the CO2, is it, maintenance-wise, with the tube, how many hours do you get out of one of those? Oh, awesome. That's great. Well, that's good to know for longevity too. Maybe I'll have to pick your brain a little later, send you something on YouTube, figure out maybe what I should go away from maybe X-Tool and go to something else. That's cool. How does the CO2 do for your wood cutting? Because that's one of the things I've been looking at doing more of. I started out primarily with hardwoods, and my goal is to start going to like craft fairs and vendors, and I want to be able to like easily produce and cut out stuff out of the hardwood stuff I use, like 3/4 inch thick. look, we picked up one more. Just join, please. Throw in your comments, questions, whatever we got going on here, kind of things. We're working on a big order of 300 for me, and just kind of take you through the process of prepping all this glassware. Yeah, I have a thought with CO2 mainly, especially with the power being able to cut deeper. So hey, I applaud you on all that. That is awesome. I like to see someone, doing their own thing like that. That is great. That would be a little bit too much for the time I have. That's why I had to go with pre-builds. Yeah, that is true. I will say, when it comes to customer support with Xtool, some people have had mixed messages. I've actually had a pretty decent time with them. I think the hardest thing that I've had with Xtool when it comes to customer support has been communication, but that was before they launched the offices in the States. It usually took about a 12 to 24 hour turnaround time for an answer. You kind of had to jump through a few hoops of, taking some screen recordings or videos of what was going on. But once that was all said and done, I had my 40 watt had these weird lines on the actual lens of the laser, not the protective cap cover. And I don't know if it was really affecting performance that much. It seemed like it could have been. I was still getting good engravings. And once I had gone through sending them everything, it was about 7 days later, I had a new 40 watt module in hand. So that was actually pretty cool about their customer support that I did like. So as a shop that obviously has got a lot of business, what would be your biggest, I don't want to call it a tip or trick, because it's not a tip or trick, but it would be a words of encouragement to someone starting their own shop? That's a pretty good side thing for you though, buddy. To get those kind of orders, I will say. Do you sell most of your stuff word of mouth, online, Etsy, TikTok? That's cool. Yeah, I'm just starting to jump into trying to do more on TikTok because my cousin, who's a little more, millennial than I am, she's been saying, I need to take that stuff over there. I'm old school. I wish they still had, what's his name? Tom. If anyone can remember it, that'd be great. It was the first social media platform. You know what? I did start. I need to start doing that more. That is a great, great piece of advice. Um, I got one of my first sales off of a card from leaving it at the hardwood store. But I do have some little local mom and pop shops that I should leave them at with maybe like a few products so they can see. I do have it's multiple places lined up. I just haven't had time to do it, but I actually started making dog urns and then custom engraving them. And I've got 3 vets lined up to say as soon as I have the display models, we'll call them, in hand, and like a brochure set up, that they would let me post them in their shops for free. Hey, and if you just joined, please hit that like, subscribe, notification button. I'd love to hear from you guys. Please go in the comments and chat. Send me something, question, what we're working on. I'd love to answer. I did the same thing. I'm still working on getting the time frame down on them. With this diode, even though I have the IR, either one of them, it takes a long time for me to process. Like, my jig, I can do about 12 or 9 cards. I think it's 12 cards at a time. And I'm at about 2 hours to get the fronts and the backs done. But I kind of have it a little over detailed and a QR code on the back. It's one of the things I don't offer for sale for people quite yet until I figure that process out better. It's frustrating because I have my iPad here, but I'm on a separate account so I can see what you guys are saying. So when people join, I can't see your name because it's up on my phone, 10 miles away it feels like. Yeah, that's a good idea. I need to do more QR codes for that. Right now I only have my Instagram. That's kind of where I started everything. But I need to do that. I have an Etsy shop set up. I just don't have anything really in it. A lot of that has to come to time factors. I don't have enough time to have like enough product in stock. I usually just do everything to custom order. But I like that idea. So what projects are you all working on today? I know Jack's already said he's got some big orders coming in. Anyone else in there, what are they working on? Jack, feel free to answer on that one too, because I'm sure you got plenty to talk about for what yours are. That gives me inspiration when I hear people being able to do this as a side hustle, side business, and how well they're doing. That just tells me I need to just keep working harder, putting in those late hours, and getting it done. That's a good one too. I like that. It's a good way of putting out kind of advertisement for what you're making and what you're doing. That's cool. How are you liking the CNC carver? Because that was one thing I was looking at, mainly to kind of down the road, if I get certain products going well, to make it a little bit faster, like with the urns, kind of pre-batching out the panels and the tops and the bottoms. Also, for you, Jack, are you operating out of a garage? You got a, we'll call it like a barn or a shed or like an outdoor shack that you work on, or did you actually end up having to rent space? That's cool. See, my father-in-law, he likes what I'm doing here. He's a rough carpenter, and he likes how I've kind of changed it to fine carpentry and all this other stuff. But I showed him some of the CNC plasma cutters and like laser engraving and welders and all that stuff, and that was up more his alley. That's cool. Yeah, a shop would be great, but it's the dream at some point. Maybe when my two kids are both in school. I don't know. We'll see. If you just popped in on the channel, please throw in a comment, question, whatever you want, what we're doing here today. You know, it's funny because I wouldn't say it's not real woodwork because you still got to put everything together. It just makes it more simple, or I should say simple. It can be a free worker for you, you know, you pay for it, but it makes the process a little bit faster, much more accurate, I feel like. And honestly, if you're already doing some woodworking with it, it's just making your products that much quicker to do or easier to do. Yeah, and finishing is the hardest part. We all know that. I've only had to do it a few times, but there's been a few times I've messed up a finish on something. You got to be stripping it all the way down and redoing it. I will only say the only time I've ever said something wasn't real woodworking was a local company that does a lot of crafts fairs, puts out woodworking stuff. And really what it is they use their laser engraver to cut all the pieces out and then put it together and paint it. And I'm not taking away that it isn't working with wood, but their finishing to it could be so much better with framing it out with nice hardwoods or whatever, that I don't claim that that's enough for woodworking. It's assembly, but not really woodworking yet. On my last video, you would have seen, on my last one, I don't know if you were on it, I don't think I saw you on there, you would have seen kind of the other woodworking tools I have in the shop, between the bandsaw, the router, the joiner, the planer, drill presses, you know, everything's got a purpose, right? Bandsaw has been one of my new favorite tools to use. I only picked it up about a year ago. The one thing I will say, if you think you need bigger, oh cool. If you think you need a bigger bandsaw for resawing wood, I would say go with it. Mine's just an older Sears Craftsman 12-inch, which works great. I bought the Carter stabilizers for it, which was a great investment. But the issue is now I've cut my resaw capacity down to 6 inches versus when it used to be like closer to 8. But for the different things you can do in reducing the amount of like waste wood when resawing or cutting out, that has been one of the best tools for it. Honestly, if you wanted to try one out, I would suggest going on Facebook Marketplace somewhere, picking up a used older one, and then just giving it a shot. I think you can pick up those Craftsman 12 inches, usually typically in my area, for about like $100, maybe $50 worth of work into it, and you can kind of get started on it and figure out, is this going to be good for my shop? And then go from there. Probably not look at the tablet when I'm mid reading reviews. Hey, got 2 more guys in here. Hey, we're doing just Q&A, talking about the shop, laser engraving glassware. Jack's been doing a great job in the comments. Thank you so much, Jack. If you just joined, please throw a comment in there. Hit that like, subscribe, notification button. Currently working on an order of 300 glasses that are going to be laser engraved. This is the cleaning process. Kind of retouch on it for you guys that got new on here. Using some rubbing alcohol, or I should say isopropyl alcohol, 98%, 99%, somewhere in there, and just cleaning down the insides and the outsides so they're ready for paint. So this is a very much rinse, wash, repeat kind of process. Now, I'm sorry if I look away from the camera a lot. I don't have a setup in here yet. This is very new to me on everything. I'm using a tablet with a different account so I can see the comments popping up. If you get a chance, hit that subscribe button. It'd be much appreciated. We're getting close to 250. I'd love to hit 250 by mid next week. So for you few new guys that joined on, basically all I'm doing is taking a spray ball with the alcohol, putting it on a rag, forgetting where I was at, picking up where I think I was at, and just wiping down the outside and then the inside. And then the next step will be make sure everything's nice and dry, and then we'll be applying paint. The shop I am in is my garage. I am a stay-at-home dad. My 2 daughters are at their grandma's house. Those are the Kits from Fox and Kit WoodWorks. And I get a little bit of freedom to work in the shop now. Quite honestly, Jack, if you're still there, I'm pretty sure you can probably attest to this. I feel like when it comes to the laser engraver, your biggest or longest part is actually the prep work. It's getting everything unpackaged, getting everything cleaned up and prepped to go on the laser engraver. Probably sure it's a lot of things too that you do. This is kind of the boring part. I figured I'd get some videos out to you guys, do some Q&A, just kind of shoot the SHIT with you because I know that YouTube doesn't want me to cuss on this. I'm trying not to. feel like Die Hard. One of the famous lines from that is applicable to me. I speak two languages, English and bad English. All right, and with that, on this row, I'm going to go ahead and I think I'll end this live chat. Yeah, Jack, thank you for that answer. That's insane. It's crazy how most of the time is spent prepping. But I think these guys, I timed them out, and they're going to take, and you're probably going to tell me something like, on your CO2, it'll probably only take like a minute. For that emblem I put up there, it takes 3 minutes and 38 seconds to engrave on the glass. But only 10 seconds to change out. There's my drink. All right, got that going now. Well, see one more person join. You can throw something in the comments so I can see your name. I got my phone over there. I got my iPad over here. Got a few more people that popped in. Please throw a comment out there. I like that idea. That's a good point. Might have to do that. I'll have to look into that. Hey, so I saw 3 more people join. We are working on glassware today. Getting it prepped for a big laser engrave. I'm Fox from Fox and Kit WoodWorks. If you're in there and you're watching, please throw a comment in there. Jack has been great at this. We have been Q&Aing back and forth and chatting, and I love it. So I'd love to hear more from you guys. And yes, the practice that I got from when I was 12 to current makes this a lot easier. I don't get tired. Yeah, I picked up this crafted elements to work on a big table that I was flattening, and the one thing I got to do is make a tension portion box for the top of this table so I can make sure everything's nice and flat. I had a few little dips that threw things off. I had to go back and do it on the hand, but I like your idea. I like what you're thinking. That's exactly what I would kind of need for this shop, something that I can keep everything smaller and compact in one spot. Come on, don't be shy. I see 2 more of those added in. Questions, comments, rude remarks, all are appreciated on this channel. And Jack, do you, how long did it take you to build all that, like a CNC? Was that a pretty couple day job? But I'm guessing you might either have to do programming on it, or maybe there was software you could already purchase for it. I appreciate that. That's a good point. I read somewhere or watched a video talking about how a lot of people have been watching more and more from their TV so they can't comment. Whew. All right. On the bright side, I can actually time myself in on how long this takes by doing this recording because I wanted to figure out how long it would take me to clean all these glasses. I'm currently sitting at 51 minutes. I didn't realize I could talk that long. I knew I could talk that long. Let's face it. I've got the gift of gab. Let's just put it that way. Okay, that's not too bad. That's something that's more doable for me, like a week, something like that. I'll go take a look at your channel and see if you got any tips, tricks on doing that, and then also doing some research on it. Because yeah, it would be really nice to be able to set up like a CNC here. Once you get it set up, is it easy enough to maybe take the motors off and apart, or do you just leave them on in the one spot so that way you don't have to recalibrate it? Yeah, it's amazing how quickly a shop can fill up with tools and everything else you have for life. We did the opposite. This used to be filled with kids stuff, our stuff. We finally bought some more sheds, moved some stuff outside. I've actually kind of taken this over. Really all that's in here that isn't shop related is this rack above you, which I don't think you can see up there. And then behind you, the top shelf of the shelving unit I made is really just storage for like knickknacks and little things. Working on trying to maybe get one more shed that's smaller to be able to hold like material and product for eventual crafts fairs, things like that, or online sales. Also looking at maybe building a custom workbench area out here, which would mean I'm gonna have to take everything out, and you can't see it, but it's raining out, so gotta plan that right. But I think like a good custom build with some of these tables maybe moved out of the way or gotten rid of, or just the workbenches in certain spots would make it a lot easier. Cool. Then I will definitely come check out the channel and I will see what you got on there, because I would love to learn how to make a CNC out of this and get that running in the shop. How long have you been running your channel for? And I apologize to anyone that's popping on. Jack and I have been talking quite a bit back and forth. I really love the conversation. If you get a chance to comment, that'd be great. I'm looking down here because I actually have to have a second device. I am not set up to do a live stream out here. Hopefully in the future, my plan is to actually set up a couple cameras to do an overview of the shop and the specific work areas, and have a laptop that I can kind of move around when I log in and stream. That way I can talk to you guys, see what comments are coming up. I really, everyone creates YouTube channels for different reasons. I started this just to kind of capture my journey with this business and kind of hobby, we'll call it, too. mainly as a hobby first, a therapy for me too. I never. That's awesome. I'm glad you got back into it. That's crazy. 14 years ago. I bet it's crazy to see how much it's changed from then to now. Apparently, I'm getting the package. I don't know what. Oh, I know what it is. There are the four-legged friends in the background. Perfect. Thank you, man. Take care. See? Orders coming in. We'll guess here. That one's clean. That one's not. Kind of, we'll say I started this to kind of document the process of going from hobby to shop and life with my daughters, and helping them try to learn about woodworking and just being resourceful, doing things on their own. They're younger, so a lot of this kind of goes over the head and we have to do things at a lower level, but Kit, with one T, she's the first, she's actually been helping out in the shop more and more. She's been doing some cleaning and also staining, some sanding. We actually did a DIY video together, which was a lot of fun. She actually wants to start her own channel and help out. Okay, so you started back, okay, yeah. I'm 41, so I'm not too far behind you. I think you're considered truthfully the Gen Xer. I'm the Zennial. I'm between the Gen Xers and the Millennials. Okay, yeah. Yeah, see, that's the other thing I'm into is tech stuff. My buddy Ben, he actually wants to do some stuff with computers. He's been a lot more into computers in these later years than I have been, but back when I was, I think 10, maybe 8, my uncle worked at Intel at the time. He actually taught me how to build my first computer, and so I feel you on that. That was a time frame when not a lot of people had the internet and were learning all that stuff. That's cool. Yeah, you can't be on that. The internet security, or the computer security, internet security, that would get you. See, I was into, before this, I was into regular security. I was a cop for 12 years, a sheriff for a year before that, but I was in law enforcement for 13 years. My last gig actually was plainclothes. I looked like this pretty much. And did that for 13 years being in law enforcement, and part of this, as I was saying before, the woodworking and the hobbies with the laser engraving has actually kind of been a therapy for me regarding different things that went on at work, things that happened, nothing too crazy, one incident, that was it. But I've also realized in life in general, when you have certain things pop off, it's a great way to just kind of zone out, and it's its own type of therapy. I actually have a shirt that I wear now occasionally. It's I call it grain therapy. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Linux. Haven't heard from that one in a while. They still use the penguin as their logo? Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't built a computer since 2019. I'm still running essentially the same rig. I've just upgraded the memory, graphics card, and CPU. And primarily I used it only for gaming and like little internet searches, work like that. Now I'm having to use it for a lot more between video editing, social media stuff, research. Not much gaming these days. Tux, yep. Hey, got a few more people on. I want to say hi, Fox from Fox and Kit WoodWorks. If you just joined in, please throw a comment in there if you can. If you're watching it from your TV, hit that like, subscribe, notification button if you can. We are working on a big order here. We're going to be going over some more lives here before the kits get back, and we're going to be doing some painting and then probably some engraving. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. I never did much with Linux. I did a little bit back in high school, so that was some 20-something years ago. And let's just say I've always just been more on the Windows. I don't do Mac. The only things Mac I have, or Apple I should say, are my phone and my tablet. But honestly, I've kind of thought about switching over to something else. All right, almost done. Hey, more power to you. I wish I could do more of that. 9 years education, it's a lot. It took me 5 years to get my criminal justice degree, but the first year and a half was taken for computer engineering. Yeah, but specialized certain, specialties are different. It's like when I was in the Army Reserve and they sent me off to school for radio transmissions. I learned a lot about radio transmissions. They said I could do something with cell phone towers. Basically figured out I'd just be installing them. But you know what? When you're specialized in something like that, more power to you. Education's great. All of this has really been self-taught or watching videos like from you and other people. Well, Jack and everyone else, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye and log off. I'm coming up on actually an hour. Pretty surprised on that. But I really do appreciate you guys popping in, watching the channel. Jack, really thank you for all the back and forth. I will be checking out your channel and any of your other shops. It was a pleasure. And honestly, you guys, thank you so much for jumping in. And that's the power for hard work right there, before I say that. Self-taught is great. I think more of this generation, these generations need more of that. And that's kind of what I'm trying to push on to my daughters is going out, self-taught, figuring things out on your own, going for that help, looking around. You don't have to just be a college whiz. You can do other things. Though my daughter, my oldest, wants to be a Thunderbird, and I'm all for that. I think people don't realize how much they can learn on their own from going to the right resources or finding the right classes. They can do a lot more. Last 9 and then they're all done. not one person popped in and made a joke about all of this wrist work. Kind of surprised. I know, but I've enjoyed chatting with you, Jack. Here will be my joke. This one's for me. This one's for the missus. Maybe that went over their heads. Do it one more time. Me, the missus. All right. That is all 256 clean. We are going to be moving on next to the painting. I'm going to get set up for that. I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream. Jack, thank you so much, and everyone else that popped in. But Jack, I really do appreciate all the comments back and forth. I will be checking out all your channels, or your channel and all your other stuff. I really do appreciate it. You all stay safe. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.